Hi guys, welcome back to Tara Makes It Up. Today I'm going to test out some drugstore makeup, and these are pieces that have been recommended to me by friends or through looking on the beauty grapevine, come really recommended. So I want to see if these products live up to the hype, are they any good, and just give you a bit of an idea what's worth picking up if you're ever in Los Angeles or America and you're around the drugstores and want to know what's worth picking up. So the first product I'm going to try out today is the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. I've got the shade Buff. This was about $6. I think it was definitely no more than like $6.50, and I've heard amazing things about this foundation. So the whole idea is that it's photo friendly, there's no flashback with it. So it says it's been tested under 7 light conditions, it's been tested with top smartphone models, and it says it looks beautiful with and without flash. And I think it's aimed as like a medium to full coverage foundation. There is no pump on it, but you do get a lot of product, and it has one of these kind of little applicators. So I'm going to put a bit on the back of my hand. So I'm going to use a bold metals brush. This one is the blush brush. And let's start applying. So it definitely has a nice sheen to it, which I like. I'm always going to be a sucker for a more dewy foundation. The colour match is pretty good actually for me, because I'm definitely a bit warmer now. I've been living in Los Angeles a little while. So far guys, I'm really impressed. Can you see how nice and glowy it looks? So that is the foundation on. I added one layer all over, a little bit on my neck, and then I did a little bit extra in the middle portion of my face, just a little bit of extra coverage, and a little bit on my chin. And I've got to say, it feels really nice. It feels light, it doesn't feel cakey. In terms of the coverage, I definitely feel like it's given me the coverage. There's still a little bit of light on the skin, which I really like. It doesn't feel too flat. So yeah, I'm very interested with this one. So far so good. I feel like the foundation is a win. I'm going to quickly add a bit of brow. This is a drugstore item. It's by Ardell. It's their brow pencil with a little spoolie on the end in blonde. This is the only product that I have used before, guys, but I completely forgot to pick up a brow product. So my bad. I'm just going to fill in my brows a little bit, which you guys have seen me do a million times. So brows done. I've brought 2 eyeshadow palettes to try. The first one is this one from Physicians Formula. This is called the Natural Nude palette, and multi-finish eyeshadow palette. So you've got shimmers in here, you've got mattes, some nice bronzes, some nice nude tones. I feel like these are the colours I would wear. And then I also really wanted to try this one from Wet n Wild. So I might try layering some of these sheens. They've got a kind of blue brown that's very similar to like the MAC type eyeshadow pigments. Again, they've done the whole like brow bone crease, telling you where to put it, which you could do, but I think you definitely should just have a play and experiment. So I'm going to start using the Physicians Formula one, and I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take this kind of like cafe au lait shade, and I'm going to start working that all over my lid first. So I will say, as soon as I put my brush in, a lot of powder kind of kicks off. So I'm going to give the brush a good little bit of movement. So there's a tiny bit of fall down. So very, very easy to blend. Not the most pigmented shadow, I would say though. I feel like it's doing the job, it's nice, but it's not as pigmented as I would perhaps like for an eyeshadow. So that's the kind of mid-tone, like latte kind of shade on, which is pretty, I like it. I feel like I should take a little bit of, let's take one of the more shimmery shades. So I'll take kind of this bronzy shade, and we'll use that a little bit through the crease. Again, loads of product came off when I tapped that into the palette, so definitely having to kind of knock some off on the back of my hand before I apply, otherwise definitely feel like this would be all down my face. So this colour has a bit more payoff, so the shimmers seem to have a little bit more payoff than the mattes, I would say. So just giving a little bit of definition, and I'm going to take that on kind of the outer V as well actually, just to give it a little bit more of a smoky look. They blend really easily, which is really nice. I just don't feel they're like super heavily pigmented, and it does kick off a lot of product. So one thing I did like about the Physicians Formula is that their kind of creamy, shimmery colours feel very highlightery, a bit like MAC pigment in Opal, and I think it's called Vanilla, really similar to that. So I thought they could be nice for like the inside corner. So I'm going to take a pointed brush, and I'm just going to take some of the more sheeny shades, and put that in the, oh, see, I've picked up the darker colour now at the same time. This is my only pet peeve with eyeshadow palettes, where they all interlink. So I'm going to take that into the inner corner, just for a little bit of brightness. So with the Physicians Formula eye palette, I've got to say, it's not bad, but it's not amazing. So for me, that one I probably won't be going back to. This one from Wet n Wild, I'm going to show some swatches here so you can see all the colours properly in action. But I'm going to try this one, which is the one they're calling a crease shade, this bronze, and kind of go over with that now a little bit more over the eye. So these definitely don't have quite as much kickback as the Physicians Formula ones do. But I'm actually going to just take this all over the lid now. Let's go for a full-on bronzy eye, why not? So it is nice and it does blend really beautifully. I'm going to also take some of that shade under the eyes as well, so just using a pointed brush. I think you could use them wet if you wanted them more intense, but for me, there are great cheap eyeshadows that do work super well, even used dry. So it looks very pretty on the eye. I'm just not sure how intense they are, so I'm going to try swatching it with my finger actually, because when I do it with my finger, I definitely pick up more product. And I'm just going to try tapping that. So that definitely makes it go on a little bit stronger by putting it on my finger and just tapping it into the center of the eyelid. Yeah, that's really picked up some more pigment now. So I think with these, you'd want to use a flat brush or buff it out with a smudge brush first and then go with your finger. So to add a bit of definition, I brought a brown kohl from Wet n Wild. This was 99 cents, which is amazing. Very long, you get a lot of product for your money. So I want to try and see, because it's a kohl, I'm hoping it should smudge out a little bit. So I'm going to take this along the top of my lash line. It's a nice colour brown, it's really pretty. And I'm going to go all the way along. That's really pretty, I really like that. And I'm going to smudge it out a little bit on the outer corner. And I'm also going to take that inside as well. I feel like doing a bit in the tight line today. So I'm going to take that on the inside waterline so you can see it as well. And I just think brown's are a little bit softer. So I'm going to go back to a smudger brush and just see if that smudges in nicely or if it kind of sets. Oh no, it does smudge. Yeah, that's nice, guys. I really like that. I think for 99 cents, you can't go wrong. And actually to intensify that, I'm going to use the darkest shade in the Wet n Wild palette just to kind of smoke that into the roots. Just so it gets a little bit more of a smoky feeling. And it's nice, it's a little bit shimmery as well. I really like that. I definitely need some concealer soon. So there is a little bit of fall down I'm noticing. I've managed to get some on my forehead. I do not know how. So before I add any mascara, I want to try this concealer. This is by Milani. It's their Retouch and Erase Concealer, which I've managed to get eyeliner all over. So now it's covered in brown. Yeah, it's the Retouch and Erase Light Lifting Concealer. And I went for the shade Medium Light, which is 3. It's got this kind of like round ball, a bit similar to the Maybelline. I think it's at the Age Rewind. So, whoa, quite a bit comes up quite quickly, just be warned. But I'm going to take this, I'm going to kind of use it as like an all-over concealer. So I'm going to use it under my eyes and around my nose. I probably could have gone one shade warmer, or in an ideal world, I think I would have picked up this one for brightening and probably one more shade that kind of matches my skin tone. But we'll work with it. So you've got time to work with it. This is a little bit lighter than what I would normally go, but let's see how well it sculpts under the eyes. It has a really nice consistency. So that is the concealer all blended in, and I think that is really beautiful. I hope it's showing up as nicely on camera as it is in real life, because it's really worked in harmony with the foundation. It has a nice dewy feel. It's covered like my under eye dark circles really well. I used a little bit of my chin and around my nose. So I'm going to try out this Physicians Formula bronzer. I've seen a lot of the YouTubers loving this whenever they come to America. So I think I have one that said it was for all skin tones. Not sure how accurate that is, but if I can get into it, I'm going to give it a go. And we're in. So it's got kind of like the little pink blush within the bronzers as well. It feels like it would be a really good dupe actually for the Guerlain bronzers. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm just going to warm up my complexion. So I felt like I couldn't get some Physicians Formula products and not try one of the bronzers. But this is really nice actually. It goes on very evenly. I feel like it distributes product really nicely. But that is really, really pretty. I really like it. I don't know how much of the pink you can see in it, but it definitely makes it multi-tonal and that it doesn't feel just kind of one shade of orange. It feels like it actually maps out really nicely with the rest of my skin. So I'm going to add a little bit of blusher. I brought one of the Milani baked blushes, which I've heard so many people talk about, and I did manage to get it in the shade, I think it's called Luminoso. So this is the one that I see loads of bloggers, YouTubers loving. Now, it is very, very highlightery, so I've brought a highlighter as well. So we're gonna see how much highlighter I can get on my face by the end of this video. It does come with a brush and a mirror. I'm not sure I would use that. So I'm just going to use the same brush I used for my bronzer, and it's a really pretty kind of apricot-y shade, but a lot does come out on the brush. So I'm just going to use this. Oh, that's really pretty actually. Okay, I see what all the fuss is about. It's good. It's really good. So that is a very pretty kind of corally, peachy shade, and you do get that natural highlight, so I'm sure the camera is picking that up. Okay, I like that. I feel like that definitely is a win. Before I go any further, I've just realised I've not got any mascara on, so we definitely need to add some mascara. So I'm going to try out the Mega Length. This one is a Wet n Wild one. This was about $3.50, super cheap. So the brush is kind of like a plasticky wand, which I don't mind. I quite like those for separating. So let's give this a go. And it does say that this is a waterproof formula. And guys, you know me, with my eyes, I'm the best person to test these out on. So first impressions, it does separate really nicely, and it is a proper black mascara, which I like. That's actually quite nice. I hope that lasts. And I don't have many lashes, so I find that separating mascaras on me sometimes mean I look like I have 5 eyelashes. So this one is still building a nice amount of volume. Feels like quite a wet formula, but again, that could be just because the mascara is new as well. I feel like I generally tend to prefer mascaras kind of 2 weeks after I've opened them. That's when I feel like they're at their best. So mascara on, and one thing I will say to be aware of, because it's a very wet formula when you first open it, I did get the little bit of imprint above and then had to kind of strategically reapply my eyeshadow just to kind of reblend back in. So that's my only criticism, but I feel like you would have that with pretty much any mascara. And overall, I think it's made my lashes look really nice. It feels uniform, it feels separated, and a nice bit of volume at the base of the lashes. So I know this blush is very highlightery, but I did buy a highlighter as well to try. So I feel like it's got to be done. This is the Wet n Wild Highlighter Powder, Megaglow, and I managed to get hold of the shade Precious Petals, which I feel is quite similar to kind of the Becca Moonstone, I want to say, like in between Moonstone and Opal. It's kind of like a sheeny, very, very subtle kind of peachy pearl. So I'm going to try this, and I was quite impressed with this when I swatched it in the shop actually. It wasn't too glittery, shimmery, it had a nice gleam. I'm going to take another Bold Metals brush, and I'm going to start with less because I do feel like this is quite intense, this highlighter. So yeah, this is definitely a full-on highlighter. It's not necessarily going to be one that I would personally wear in the daytime, but I think a lot of people will love this. It definitely, I mean, I just did like one gentle sweep and it has definitely packed a punch. So dare I go in with another layer? My good friend Lindsay Kelk will be proud. And got to do the bit on the nose. That's just the rule, isn't it, if you're a blogger? So I'm going to do it, we're going to take it more kind of in the bridge. I'm not going to go all the way to the end. But it definitely does give you that kind of wet skin look, which I think is really pretty. And again, I think this was like $6, so super affordable if you're looking for a really nice highlighter. I mean, that is really impressive. I do actually quite like that. I'm coming around to it, guys. I'm coming around to it. So I definitely feel very sheeny, very dewy. Let's do a bit of it on the top lip as well. Note on the mascara, guys, it still feels a little bit wet. I feel like when I'm blinking, I feel like I'm having to be very careful. So I'm starting to think now this is definitely a formula that takes a long time to dry. So just be aware of that. But back in with JLo's Nude, good old Color Riche by L'Oreal. I'm just gonna take this. And I feel like when I'm doing an eye, I do just like my lip really pared back. So I tend to just kind of dab it on as opposed to go full pigment. It has got the slight grandma smell, I'm not gonna lie. And I think that's my only thing with L'Oreal. I can never tell if I like that smell or if I don't. I just am very aware of it when I apply their lipsticks. But I think for the price, the quality is lovely. It feels nice and moisturizing. And I feel like that kind of completes the look. I feel like you guys have to let me know in the comments below what you think. What was your favorite of the Drugstore products? Looking at it all now, I feel like the wins for me, there are two, I think there's two big wins. And they're both by Wet n Wild actually. The first one is the Photofocus foundation, which was around $6. Amazing price. I feel like you get loads of product. I feel like this really does mimic a high-end foundation. And I feel like 2-3. I did love the Milani blush as well. I can totally see what all the fuss is about with that. But dare I say it, the Wet n Wild highlighter, I do feel is seriously high impact. Like, it really is pretty amazing. I have managed to drop it on the floor already and break the packaging, so you know you are paying for Drugstore makeup, you're not going to have the most amazing packaging. However, in terms of performance, I feel like that really does perform like a high-end product. And I'm really impressed. So definitely quite a few things in here I will be using again. Some I probably won't. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you've tried any of these, what your favorites are as well. Keep enabling me, guys. You know I'm new in America. I want to know all the things I should be trying that I can't get back home. And hopefully this is helpful if you are coming to America soon and you want to know what drugstore items are worth picking up on your journey. So I hope that was helpful, guys, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see down below. Please subscribe, and I'll see you soon for more. Thanks so much, bye.